July 30th, 1975, a restaurant parking lot in Bloomfield Township, Michigan. A 62-year-old man pulls in around 2 p.m. Jimmy Hoffa, former president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, one of the most powerful labor leaders in American history. He's expecting a meeting. Two Mafia figures, a meeting he scheduled to discuss his plans to reclaim control of the Teamsters union. He waits, makes a couple of phone calls, complains that nobody has shown up. Then he vanishes. No witnesses see him leave. No body is discovered. No murder weapon. No ransom note. No farewell letter. Just Jimmy Hoffa disappears. Nearly 50 years later, the FBI has investigated hundreds of leads, excavated golf courses, dug up driveways, searched stadiums, followed tips from informants, conspiracy theorists, and people claiming deathbed confessions. Nobody has found him. The most famous missing person in American history remains missing. I'm Keith Conrad, and this is Sidequests. Today, Jimmy Hoffa, July 30th, 1975, one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. How a man as powerful as Hoffa could vanish in broad daylight, why the mystery has never been solved, and what we've learned and haven't learned about what really happened. To understand Hoffa's disappearance, you need to understand who he was. Jimmy Hoffa was a working-class organizer from Detroit. As a teenager, he began organizing warehouse workers, joined the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. The Teamsters were truckers, warehouse workers, people who moved goods across America. Under Hoffa's leadership, the Teamsters became one of the most powerful unions in America. Membership exploded, influence expanded. Why? Because in the 1950s and 1960s, if the Teamsters stopped working, America stopped. Trucks carried goods. If trucks didn't move, commerce stopped. That gave the Teamsters and Hoffa enormous power. But Hoffa wasn't just a union leader, he was controversial. Supporters saw him as a fearless champion of workers, a man who fought for working people. Critics saw someone different, ruthless, intimidating, too willing to use violence, too close to organized crime. The organized crime connection is complicated. Federal investigators allege that Mafia families influenced Teamster locals, used the union's massive pension fund, billions of dollars, to finance casinos, real estate developments, and other ventures. Hoffa, historians debate the extent of his personal involvement with the Mafia, but there's broad agreement that he worked with figures connected to organized crime when it served his interests as a union leader. The Teamsters pension fund was enormous, the biggest pension fund in America, controlled by Hoffa. Organized crime figures wanted access to that money. Hoffa could provide it. In return, he got, support, protection, loans for his activities? The details remain unclear, but the relationship was real. In the early 1960s, Robert F. Kennedy becomes Attorney General, and he makes Jimmy Hoffa one of his top targets. Years of investigation follow, wiretaps, grand juries, trials, appeals. Finally, Hoffa is convicted. Jury tampering, pension fraud. He begins serving a federal prison sentence in 1967. It seems like the end of Hoffa's career. Prison, convicted criminal, finished. Except he's not finished. In 1971, Richard Nixon commutes Hoffa's sentence. One condition, Hoffa cannot participate in union activities until 1980, a 9-year ban. Hoffa agrees, gets released from prison, but immediately, almost right away, he begins trying to reclaim control of the Teamsters. This is where things get dangerous. The current Teamsters leadership doesn't want him back. They've been running the union without him. They like the status quo. And organized crime figures? They've grown comfortable with the current situation. The current union leadership is cooperative. Hoffa might change things, might be less cooperative. Suddenly, Hoffa has powerful enemies. People with billions of dollars at stake. People connected to organized crime. Hoffa, trying to reclaim power, is a threat to everyone who benefits from the current system. That morning, Hoffa tells his family he's meeting two well-known Mafia figures. He drives to a restaurant parking lot in Michigan. He arrives early, around 2 p.m. He calls his wife, complains that nobody has arrived for the meeting. Then, sometime in the next hour, he vanishes. His car is found in the parking lot, abandoned, no struggle, no blood, no signs of violence. Just an empty car. Hoffa is gone. The FBI launches an investigation. It becomes one of the largest missing persons investigations in American history. Years pass, decades pass, nearly 50 years pass. Thousands of tips, hundreds of leads, dozens of excavations. Hoffa was buried under Giants Stadium. The FBI digs, finds nothing. Hoffa was buried under another football stadium. Investigators check, find nothing. Under a swimming pool, a horse farm, a bridge, inside a concrete foundation, all investigated, all lead nowhere. Meanwhile, organized crime figures die. Mob informants provide deathbed confessions. Some claim Hoffa was murdered, others claim different details. A few former Teamsters claim to know what happened, but their stories contradict each other. The evidence doesn't add up to certainty. Nearly 50 years later, what do investigators believe happened? The leading theory, Jimmy Hoffa was murdered shortly after leaving the restaurant. Well, who killed him? Likely organized crime figures who saw him as a threat. Where is his body? That's the mystery. It's been disposed of in a way that has prevented recovery. Maybe cremated, maybe dumped in a river, maybe buried somewhere remote. The people who knew, the people who ordered the hit, who carried it out, who disposed of the body, either are dead or have kept the secret. Why hasn't this been solved? Because the people who knew the truth made sure it disappeared with them. Organized crime doesn't usually leave evidence, doesn't cooperate with law enforcement, protects its members, so the case remains open, unsolved, one of America's greatest mysteries. But here's the thing, the mystery has become almost as famous as the man himself. Jimmy Hoffa was powerful, important, a major figure in American labor history, but what people remember most is his disappearance. The unanswered question. The body that was never found. The crime that was never solved. That mystery captures something about America. About power, about organized crime, about a powerful man who became too dangerous to some people. July 30th, 1975. A parking lot, a vanishing. Nearly 50 years later, we're still asking the same questions. What happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Who killed him? Where is his body? The FBI investigated hundreds of leads, found nothing definitive, nothing that solved the mystery. Sometimes history leaves us with mysteries that refuse to be solved. Not because no one looked, but because the people who knew the truth made absolutely sure it disappeared with them. Jimmy Hoffa remains America's greatest missing person mystery. The one case that, despite decades of investigation, despite countless tips and theories, remains unsolved. And I'm Keith Conrad. Thanks for listening to Sidequests.